In this video, I'll be explaining how to play Saryn, the most toxic Warframe. And for reasons I say toxic, I mean the damage type she does. How she works, off a simple build to start playing Saryn. By the end of this video, you'll know everything about Saryn. In order to know all that, you'll need to know Saryn's acquisitions, stats, abilities, and augment mods. Then later in this video, I'll talk about the build I made. Now let's get into the acquisition of Saryn. Saryn is acquired by either grinding relics for Saryn Prime or killing Kayla to Thame to get Saryn parts and her blueprint. You can also buy her blueprint from the market for however many credits. You'll also need the materials needed to craft her. If you've not crafted her, after this video, you should 100% do that, or do it right now. After acquisition, we have the stats for Saryn. At level 0 with no mods, she has 125 health and 150 energy. At level 30 with no mods, she has 375 health, 300 shield, and 225 energy. Saryn's base armor is 225, her base initial energy is 50, base sprint speed is 0.95, her aura polarity is Vazarin, her base polarities are a Neramon and a Vazarin slot. If you kill a Kuva larvaling or sister candidate, the progenitor element will be Toxin, and her subsumed ability is Molt. How Molt works is Saryn leaves behind a decoy which enemies will target and be distracted by Saryn. That is where we go into more of the abilities. Her abilities include Spores, Molt, as we talked about, Toxic, Lash, and Miasma. Spores inflict corrosive damage. Spread these spores by destroying the spores or killing the host. The longer the spore spreads, the more damage it does. These spores, though, will decay over time, so make sure to keep spreading so you don't lose spores. I've already explained Molt, so let's go to her third ability. Third ability, Toxic Lash, while activated, deals additional toxic damage on weapons. This effect is doubled for melee weapons and instantly bursts spores when attacking a host. Miasma releases a poisonous miasma that does viral damage. Enemies that have spores are more susceptible to the mist, meaning they take more damage. If you're looking for some spice to Saryn, then you'll 100% want some augment mods. These mods, for the people not in the know, are mods that change a Warframe's abilities. Saryn spores have 2 augment mods. First one, Revealing Spores, which reveal infected enemies within 40 meters on the minimap and gives a plus 40 radar. Venom Dose modifies the ability by allowing for ability keyhole to allies within 15 meters, 100% corrosive damage for 40 seconds. Regenerative Molt, after Saryn casts Molt, he regenerates 50 health for every 10 seconds. Contagion Cloud for Toxic Lash creates 5 meters of toxic clouds, dealing 300 toxic damage per second for 12 seconds for every kill. Damage with that mod is twice as strong as melee kills. Miasma has no option. If you're looking for mods, strength mods will affect all 4 abilities. Same for duration, and range doesn't affect Toxic Lash. Now, I want to quickly go over what each stat does for each ability. Strength affects status chance for spores, damage, and reset decay. Strength affects decoy explosion damage, decoy health, and the movement speed buff from it. For Toxic Lash, the damage bonus is increased for ability strength, and Miasma's damage is increased from strength. Duration for spores affects decay rate of spores and the speed buff duration. Toxic Lash's duration is increased by duration mods, and so is Miasma's duration. Range affects spores cast range, decoy's explosion radius, and Miasma's duration. Now, with all that, how do you play Saryn? Saryn is played by casting spores to infect an enemy. Your spores will do damage, and your spore counter is in the bottom corner of your HUD. If there are 0 infected, you'll start decaying. Use Molt to attract enemy attention to draw them in. During this time, you should always keep Toxic Lash on so you can hit stuff and spread more spores and do more damage. Then, if you want to, you can just nuke every enemy with Miasma. Miasma will also scale with how many spores an enemy has, so good to know that. She's a very simple frame, as with most older frames, so no need to really have a PhD in order to play her. Now, it is time to make a build. This is my build on screen. First, the aura slot. I know it has physique mod, but I don't have an aura forma. What I would put here is corrosive projection, as it reduces the enemy's armor. In my auxiliary slot is preparation, so I can spam abilities, since once you play Prote, you can never go back to not spamming your abilities. Please help me. I'm a Protea player and need help to not spam the sentry gun every 5 seconds. My first normal mod I used was Augur Secrets. I use this mod for ability strength, and so will Umbral Intensify. Strength on Saryn means higher damage, which means enemies go quicker from alive to dead. I'm on a decent amount of duration with Augur Message and Primed Continuity. The people who don't have the mod, first get Prime mods. They're pretty nice. Second, if you don't have them, just use the normal version. Next, I use Adaptation for damage resistance. Flow is just for more energy, and Streamline for that energy efficiency. Using this build, I would say it's pretty good. I won't say it's some Steel Path ESO top tier, absolute destroying build, but I believe will get you a good start as Saryn. So, fly off now, since you know how to play Saryn, and have some fun. Since I've gone over everything about Saryn, to the acquisition, to the abilities, and more, I think it's time for you to fly out. I hope you also found this video helpful, and if you did, hit that like and subscribe button. Also, watch one of these videos on screen. I'll see you next video, guys.